Hey everyone! Please subscribe to my channel for more stories like this one. The wine glasses shimmered like cut gems. When my sister declared her intention, we're settling into your lake house next week. She spoke so nonchalantly as if I weren't. Right there at the table. Dad sliced the roast. Mom beamed at her grandkids. I sat still, chandeliers glowing above, hearing only the scratch of my own thoughts. That lake house wasn't just a place. It held the part of me they could never shatter. To them, though, it was merely space to take. I didn't protest. Instead, I reached into my bag, sliding a manila folder between the glassware and the carving blade. Renovations begin Monday, I said. For once, my silence wasn't defeat, it was strategy. I'm Gabrielle Morgan. That evening, I stopped being their fallback. Have you ever been pressured to give more than you could afford? Share your story in the comments. I'll be reading. Part 2, A Lifetime of Yielding. I used to believe goodness meant staying quiet, that if I smoothed things over, they'd finally value me. Growing up, I learned fairness was a privilege, not a promise. Vanessa got the shiny new bike. I got a lecture on being grateful. When the college fund vanished for her wedding, Dad said, family sacrifices for family. What he really meant was you sacrifice, they gain. Even after my divorce, when I bought the lake house. With my settlement, Mom dubbed it the family's second home. They all adopted that phrase, as if my name on the deed was just for show. The guilt was relentless, subtle, a weapon honed to perfection. Your sisters, struggling, Gabrielle. You're tougher. She needs support. That's how they masked, taking as love dressed in duty. I told myself I didn't care. I had my career, my freedom. But every favor tightened the noose. Every dinner became a transaction, every gesture of help another bar in a cage I'd built myself. Still, I showed up for birthdays, graduations, forcing smiles, pretending I wasn't fading bit by bit to keep the family at ease. Sometimes, I'd glimpse myself in their polished silverware, a blurry figure trying too hard to fit in. The daughter they could use but never fully embrace. That night when they claimed my lake house, it wasn't just another demand. It was a proclamation that my limits were optional, my silence an agreement. But they misjudged me. I wasn't the daughter who'd bicker at the table anymore. I was the woman who'd already sketched her way out. They thought guilt would shrink me. Instead, it built the very home that would set me free. Part 3, Silent Strategies and New Defenses. After that dinner, silence became my sharpest weapon. No yelling, no clashes, just calculated steps. I replayed their words, each one carved into my mind like a blueprint for my next move. They expected me to wallow in guilt. Instead, I mapped out control. Monday morning, I called my contractor, Miguel, who owed me from a past project. Full renovation, I told him. Strip it to the frame, 9 months at least. He paused. Your family's fine with this? That's the whole point, I said. By midday, contracts were drawn, permits submitted to the city, timelines locked in. Each signature was a shield, every legal stamp a wall guilt couldn't breach. Then I called my lawyer, ensuring everything was ironclad: ownership, access, codes, insurance, power of attorney. She asked if this was about safety. It's about clarity, I replied. She didn't push, just nodded, typed, and handed me papers. The faint click of her pen echoed like a storm. Leaving her office, the late afternoon sun hit the folders. In my arms, glowing like treasure, proof of self-preservation sealed in ink. That night I packed away old photo albums, every trace of their hold. Family trips, graduations, birthdays where I grinned like belonging. Didn't cost me everything. I kept one picture. Me by the lake house window, a faint smile. In dusty light, proof peace had always been there, waiting for me to seize it. Miguel texted. Later, locks in place. Cameras active. System Checked. His words were like a deep breath. I released years of strain I hadn't realized I carried. For the first time, I slept soundly, no. Need to check locks or rehearse apologies. The days after moved like clockwork. Mornings, paired coffee with invoices. Nights brought quiet pride as plans took shape. I didn't tell. Colleagues didn't post online, didn't alert my family. Let them think I was still the daughter. They could override the sister who'd cave. Sometimes silence isn't giving in, it's strategy. Taking root. By week's end, the lake house had shifted from refuge to stronghold. Motion, sensors, new locks, a camera watching the gravel drive where I knew their moving truck would eventually roll in. Standing at my apartment window, watching Portland's fog part for the sun, I finally grasped what control felt like. Quiet, unshakable mine. The next time they came for what was mine, they'd face more than locked doors. They'd meet a woman who'd woven her freedom into the foundation. Part 4, Demolition Day. Monday brought the low rumble of an engine. That didn't belong. From my kitchen window, I saw it, a moving truck creeping up the lake house's narrow drive, its burgundy logo flashing like a signal. Dad's calls had started. At dawn, 7 missed, all ignored. By the time I pulled up behind the construction crews truck, Ray and his team were ready. Cones, sawhorses, hard hats, the calm precision of men who recognized a line when they saw it. Miss Morgan, Ray said, clipboard in hand. They say they have permission to move in. They don't, I replied, handing him the signed permits. Proceed as planned. The truck idled. At the curb, Vanessa stepped out, sunglasses gleaming, hair flawless, chaos trailing her. What's going on? She demanded, gesturing at the equipment. These men are blocking our movers. The property's uninhabitable during renovation, I said, holding up the folder. Permits, inspections, legal notice, all filed. Vanessa's laugh was sharp, fragile. You're kidding. We already gave notice at our place. You'll have to find somewhere else. Her voice climbed. Where are we supposed to go? I pulled an envelope from my bag. A prepaid 6-month storage unit, already arranged. You're welcome, I said. Storage wasn't what she wanted. She wanted control. You can't do this. We're family. Family respects limits. I countered. She stormed toward the door. I still have a key. I didn't stop her. The new lock system did, its robotic voice cutting through. Unauthorized entry detected. Security alert issued. Her face paled. You changed the locks. Last week, I said, along with cameras, alarms, and legal filings. The movers hesitated. Mark muttered about staying out of it. Even the kids in the back seat fell silent. Vanessa's voice broke. You're heartless. No, I said steadily, just done being useful. My phone rang, the security company, confirming the alert. I answered clearly, loud, enough for her to hear. False alarm. Just family testing the system. When I hung up, Vanessa's anger had crumbled into shock. You'll regret this. I met her gaze. I already did for 38 years. The truck's engine roared. Back to life. Furniture sat on the lawn like trophies of overconfidence. As it drove off, Ray turned to me. Clear the yard? Yes, I said. Everything not in storage, remove it. Sunlight broke through, glinting off the new cameras, like small mirrors. For the first time, my property mirrored how I felt, untouchable. That was the true renovation. Part 5, the fallout and the truth online. By Tuesday, the aftermath began. 12 missed calls, 7 voicemails from threats to sobs. Dad's first, you've shamed us. Mom second, you've broken your father's heart. Vanessa texted, we're going public. I almost laughed. They'd forgotten I built public images for a living. That night I sat by the lake house window, the view that once soothed me post-divorce, now reflecting a battle waged in whispers and emails. Within 48 hours, gossip spread. A neighbor worried about my mental health. A cousin posted vague. Online jabs. Some people forget family comes first. Vanessa went live, tears shining under. Perfect lighting. She locked us out, she told. Her followers were practically homeless. Her clip hit 30,000 views overnight. But so did the truth. Ray Ever Thorough had documented everything. Permits, notices, timestamps, footage of the truck trespassing. My lawyer uploaded the security video to a shared drive, sending the link to local news. When Vanessa's story gained traction, by morning, the narrative shifted. Homeowner protects property from entitled relatives. Comment sections became a court of strangers, defending my name. For once, the silence that had shielded them now guarded me. Vanessa's sponsors dropped her. Her influencer deals vanished in hours. Dad called. Again, his tone softer, almost scripted. Let's settle this privately. I didn't respond, just forwarded every message to my attorney. By Wednesday evening, a courier delivered a cease and desist from my parents' lawyer, accusing me of defamation by omission. I smiled. They'd built their world on half-truths. Now omission was my strength. I issued no statement, just shared proof, contracts, receipts, timestamps through official channels. No anger, no vengeance, just facts. By Friday, the storm had passed. Tabloids moved on. Vanessa's social media went quiet. My parents canceled their golf club membership for privacy. Reporters called seeking interviews about boundaries and family disputes. I declined them all. Let them speculate about the ending. Let peace be the story for once. That night, on my balcony with a glass of wine, I watched construction lights flicker across the lake. The house was still raw, bare beams, exposed wires, but it felt whole. The wind carried faint hammer strikes from the site, each one less like destruction and more like a pulse, the rhythm of rebuilding. For years, I thought silence was weakness. Now I know. It can thunder. They tried to steal my peace. Instead, they proved why I needed it. Part 6, The Rebuild and True Peace. Sunlight spilled through unfinished windows, pooling over sawdust like molten gold. 3 months since that Sunday dinner, the house no longer carried echoes of old wounds. New beams rose overhead, bold and unyielding. Fresh drywall held no trace of past arguments. Only plans, careful, deliberate mine. Ray whistled as his crew wrapped up for the day. She's coming together, Miss Morgan, he said. By the door. She is, I replied, meaning more than the house. That evening I walked along the lake, its surface calm, reflecting the sky. Each ripple showed me how peace grows. Not loud, not fast, but sure. Mom called last. Weak, not about the house, but to ask how I was. The truce felt odd, but maybe some things don't need mending to be done. Vanessa hasn't spoken since the fallout. Her silence once felt like triumph, now it's just space, and I've learned to hold space as sacred. Last night, I hosted my first dinner. No crystal glasses, no napkins folded like expectations, just laughter, simple food, and people who truly see me. The new dining table faces the lake. When the breeze moves through the windows, light dances across the wood like it did that night I walked away. But now it doesn't hurt, it glows. Peace isn't something you stumble upon. It's something you construct, nail by nail, boundary by boundary, until the walls feel like home. I used to think love meant always saying yes. Now I know the kindest thing you can do for family is sometimes point them to the door that leads back to themselves. And when they knock again, you'll know whether to open it or let it stay closed. If this story resonated with you, please give it a like and share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Don't forget to subscribe for more true stories of family betrayal that remind us we're stronger than we think.